Hello, World Geography students. We're going to talk a little bit today about Antarctica. Our objectives today are to use globe and map to analyze and interpret the geography of Antarctica, locate the major waterways and landforms, describe the unique features of the Antarctic climate. Remember the vocabulary for this lesson? Krill, which is an invertebrate similar to a shrimp in size and shape. Protocol, which is a formal agreement for rules of conduct between nations. Sound, an area of water between two bodies of land. For example, an area of water between a coast and an island. Antarctica is the world's fifth largest continent. It's also the coldest and the windiest continent on the Earth. It's where the South Pole is located. Antarctica is divided into eastern and western Antarctica by something known as the Trans-Antarctic Mountains, and we'll look at a picture of that in just a second. This range stretches between the Roan Ice Shelf and the Ross Ice Shelf, which is Antarctica's largest ice shelf. If we look at this picture here of Antarctica, you can see the South Pole is in the middle there. So we're looking at a view of basically from the bottom of the Earth. So if there's the South Pole right here, here are those Trans-Antarctic Mountains that we were talking about, the Trans-Antarctic Mountains. They're in the middle. If you look over, to the left, you can see the very tip of South America. It's pretty close on this map, at least, to Antarctica and South America. You can see the very tip there of like Argentina and Chile. Antarctica has coal deposits that have been found throughout Antarctica, particularly along the Trans-Antarctic mountain range. There's also iron ore, and enormous oil and natural gas deposits can be found offshore in the Ross Sea. Fortunately, none of these minerals can be drilled or mined due to the ratification of the Antarctic Environmental Protocol. And when we talk about something being ratified, it means that all of the members that are involved in it have agreed to it. So they ratified it. So that means that it's not controlled or can be settled by any one country. So when we look at Antarctica, it's a place that is really not habitable. And if you'll remember from our other lessons, we said if a place was uninhabitable, it means people really can't live there. The only people that go are scientists, and we'll take a look at some of those pictures in a minute. They're pretty amazing. But why that's been ratified, it means nobody can take control of Antarctica, and nobody can go in and take the natural resources that are there. It's left untouched. Only scientific experiments are conducted there. Antarctica is settled by groups of scientists who utilize the harsh environment to conduct those experiments. And those are the ones that cannot be performed anywhere else in the world. So if you can see this scientist here, you definitely can get a look at how cold it is. Looks like his whole face mask is just kind of frozen over. And the picture on the right here, we can see, there are buildings where the scientists stay. And if you'll take a look at this ship, even the water all around it is really pretty icy. So there's only certain times when it's viable or reasonable to go in and out of Antarctica. Antarctica is also the home of species of flora and fauna. On the continent itself, only invertebrates are able to survive. So invertebrates, remember when we talked about krill at the beginning, like a little shrimp, is known as a krill. Off the coast, a number of marine animals thrive, namely several species of penguins, seals, krill, and blue whales. So these are my favorite. I love penguins. So I don't know how you feel about penguins, but I absolutely adore them. So I picked a penguin picture. Plant life on Antarctica is even more scarce due to its constant cold conditions. Here's a picture of some of the different types of flora and fauna that you can find in Antarctica. So as you can see, penguins, whales, different marine life, but not much vegetation at all. If you can see here, just kind of little bushy vegetation there. No trees, forest. It's just too cold. How cold, you say? If you look at the second bullet here, the lowest or the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was recorded there at a negative 128 Fahrenheit or negative 89 degrees Celsius. That was back in 1983. It's also considered a desert because it's very dry. And all that, even though you think, well, gosh, there's a lot of ice and snow there, what qualifies something as being a desert is the lack of rainfall or lack of precipitation. So it doesn't get very much precipitation at all. So it's considered a very dry continent. Studies concluded over the years indicate that the coastlines of Antarctica are becoming warmer while the interior appears to be cooling down. So as a result, the continent is not really getting smaller, but it is taking on a new shape because of those warm edges. So that was a brief overview of Antarctica, but remember to go into Canvas and read the full lesson so that you get all the details and interesting facts about Antarctica. We appreciate you guys paying attention to this. Have an awesome day. Thanks.